Welcome to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and the 2023 Beach Ball Classic, the nation's #1 Christmas high school basketball tournament. Brought to you by visitmyrtlebeach.com, United Bank, the City of Myrtle Beach, and the Crown Reef Resort.
Welcome back to Myrtle Beach for day 2 of the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic, America's finest high school holiday basketball tournament inside the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. Good afternoon. I'm Alan Smothers, courtside with former high school head coach James Brown, and we are here to bring you a fun one this afternoon. And when I say fun, I mean this is going to be a wide open affair between two young programs. I don't mean the players are young.
No.
I mean the programs are young. Canyon Academy out of Glendale, Arizona. This is the first year they have played varsity basketball. And One of One Academy from Indian Trail, North Carolina, that's just outside of Charlotte, is LaMelo Ball's school that he started just 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing these teams can generate this much talent in a short period of time. But, you know, this is good for our country. It's good for basketball. Give these kids an opportunity to play at the highest level before they even go to college. And who wouldn't want that? It's like a big training ground. So we're fortunate to have them here at Beach Ball Classic. Big
is the key word you mentioned, James.
Yeah.
Both of these teams are long and lean. Several 6'11", 7 foot, 7'1" young men that are going to be flying up and down the court here inside the Lambeau Arena in the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. And I tell you what, I was talking to the head coach of Canyon International, Tony McIntyre, and he has a young lady that was a head coach at the Division I level, is his assistant now, and this is the first year of the program, and I think she was as in tune with what's going on with these young men as Coach McIntyre was. And of One Prep, they don't have a mascot. It's just One of One Prep. I asked him, I said, I've looked everywhere for your mascot. So there is no mascot.
Basketball.
It's just basketball. And I said, the LaMelo Ballers, maybe? No, there's no mascot. But for Canyon Academy, they are the Scorpions. I looked everywhere for their mascot as well, and they had to tell me this afternoon. We're going to have to look at these pronunciations a little bit before we get into the call of the broadcast, though. But come on back and join us. We have some great action coming your way in the first round game of the day. We had 2 consolation bracket games earlier, but this is a first round in the prep school division of the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina on WatchStadium.com. Welcome back inside the Lambeau Arena in the Myrtle Beach Convention Center, about 6 blocks from the Atlantic Ocean. Love our location. I've lived here for 35, 36 years. You grew up here, though, James, so your father being in the Air Force Base before it closed, and so we're both very familiar. But you played at the host school, but you predate the Beach Ball Classic.
Golly.
But I'm telling you, you wouldn't know that looking at you and your lovely wife, Sonia, behind us. But about to climb Mount Kilimanjaro at the age of 60 years old. Crazy.
63.
63. Next month, you're going to climb
I'm leaving,
Africa.
Leaving next Tuesday and start climbing next Friday. Doing this for SUG Foundation, which you know all about, Cancer Foundation.
We'll talk about that as the program unfolds.
Climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Right now, it's one of those things where you wait, you train. Let's just get it over with. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it going. That's kind of where I'm at now. I'm lucky to be here with you.
One of one prep is 8-3 coming in under Jermaine Jackson, and he told me before the game, I asked him, I said, Jermaine, what is the involvement of LaMelo Ball with the program? He says, it's not day to day, but in the off season he works with the players. He supports us financially and emotionally, and he said he'll be watching the game. He'll call me at halftime if I don't do what he expects our team to do. So they come in 8-3. Jermaine Jackson's the head coach, and we'll give you their starters in just a second. The Canyon International Scorpions are 6-6. Their last time out, they lost to famed Academy La Lumiere out of Missouri, 74-60 at a tournament in Maryland. Like I said, they've been in a tournament in Columbia, went to Maryland. They're coming back to Myrtle Beach. They leave here, and they go home for 5 days. Then they leave for Utah. And then in January, I think they play in 5 more tournaments in January. It's crazy.
Well, that's what prep basketball is supposed to be like. Get these kids challenged before they go to the next level. So they're looking – it sounds like they're looking for the best competition in this country. And you may take some losses, but in the end, your players are going to improve and get better.
Our officials for the game, T. Merck is our lead official. Josh Washington and Jared Torrance also officiating the game this afternoon. Our first round game of this bracket for these two teams. Canyon in green, 1 of 1 in black, and I love the this universe uniforms. It looks like they're at the top of a mountain and then into space on their jerseys.
I thought it was their warm-ups when I first saw them, but I didn't realize it was actually their uniforms.
Yeah, that's their uniforms, and they all wear the pink sneakers, so they are decked out. LaMelo got him some good digs here. So welcome to Myrtle Beach. Inside the center jump circle, Johannes Connor. And Connor attacking the bucket, 2 hour left. Ball is deflected out of bounds by Canyon. The other starters for 1 of 1 prep, Jeremiah Jackson, L.J. Rush, Sebastian Akins, and Tayshawn Smith. For Canyon International, they start with Noah George, Jayon Pitt, and Amir Ali in the backcourt. Ali is committed to Arizona State. And then best name in the tournament, Jalik Dunkley Distant. He dunks it from distance.
Yeah,
and
a name like that, you better be good.
That's right. And Jovan Milicevic, who is also committed to New Mexico State. And the 35-second shot clock almost runs out on 1 of 1, but they get the offensive rebound, and the 3 is no good. Canyon now attacking the bucket for the first time. Here's a long triple. It's off the front of the cup, and then a quick outlet pass off to Johannes Connor, and Connor scores the first 2 of the ball game.
Well, the speed here is with 101 Prep Academy. You have some serious quickness and speed. Canyon has the height, but you know how that works. Speed usually wins out.
Speed kills, James. And Canyon Academy working it around the arc, driving up into the lane, high off the window, got the roll. Nice job by Noah George, the 6'4 sophomore. Johannes Connor, the point guard, 6'3 sophomore for 1 of 1. Again, no mascot for 1 of 1 prep, and a pull-up jumper mid-range nailed by Sebastian Akins.
Well, again, one-on-one, penetrating the lane, kicking it out, and providing some opportunities for the perimeter.
So Canyon answers at the other end. Jovan Milicevic. Johan, the New Mexico State Lobo signee, 6'10" senior, plays on the perimeter.
Well, you know how it is these days. If you can't shoot the three, you're a liability. This guy's already proven it. That was a sweet shot. You could tell he's used to doing that.
Absolutely. And he has played some of the best. This Canyon International team, I've been amazed at the national premier programs they've played already this year. Link Academy, which has been in the Geico National Championship Tournament several years in a row. Here's a hanging one-hander, rims out, and a scorpion rebound. Ahead to Milicevic, and this one is partially blocked. Pulled down by the Scorpions, though, and stuck back in by Jayon Pitt.
Well, the Scorpions are tall. I mean, three big guys inside, but you know what? They're all versatile. They're switching all these picks and picking up people no matter what size they are.
Yeah, they got 6'8", 6'8", 6'7", 6'10" on that front line.
But they're really athletic.
I guess you could call Milicevic more of a guard because he's playing out front on defense as well. And a three-point shot from the right wing. Nailed by one of one. And we are tied at 7 apiece. Noah George, sophomore on sophomore here. It's L.J. Rush guarding him man for man. Now he switches off on Johans Connor. Canyon shot clock at 15. Got a 35-second shot clock here at the beach ball. Milicevic, turnaround jumper, got him on the arm. He'll go to the line for two.
Well, Milicevic, smart player. He got a shorter man on him, posted up tough, then took a shot that he knew he could make. Got fouled on the attempt, goes to the line for two. I love this shot clock. You know, I coached in New York City for 5 years, and in high school ball they have the shot clock. Not that it always comes into play, but the end of quarters, it does.
Yes, and you know, it hasn't come into play very much here in this one because everybody likes to run.
Right.
But that very first possession came down to the nick of it. I mean, he got the ball off with a hair of an eyelash. And the second free throw is good, 1 for 2 for Milicevic on that trip. Here's a kick across the lane and a deep three from the left corner, nailing it. 1 of 1, hitting back-to-back three-pointers, leading at 10-8. Here's a curl and a drive down the lane, kick back out. Around the horn it goes, pull-up jumper at the left elbow, make it the right elbow, no good. Rebound offensively and stuck back in to tie the ball game.
Well, 1 of 1 is bringing some serious intensity on both ends of the court. But again, Canyon, much taller, getting out second opportunities.
Tayshawn Smith, 6'7" junior, is the biggest player on the floor for 1 of 1 right now. But they go bigger than that, 6'8", 6'10". Moore Maboop is 6'8". And we've got a media timeout with 3:44 to play, and we are knotted at an even 10. We'll be back with more first half action from the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic on Stadium.
From the Grand Strand to the farmland, from Main Street to the marshes, HTC is here to connect you to what matters most in your life. We're here to bring people together, here to play, and here to empower our communities with the largest fiber optic network in the area. Go with HTC. We are here to connect you to your world.
Back courtside at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. We're tied at 10, but Johannes Connor has been the man of the hour for 1 of 1 prep. He's 3 of 3 from the floor, 2 of 2 from the line with 8 points of their 10.
Well, both teams employing just a tough man-to-man defense, switching on picks. A lot of activity on both ends.
4-0 on the second chance points, though, for Canyon. Make it 6-0 on second chance points. Offensive rebound and stick back on that drive. Here's a long three, this time from the right corner. They made one from the left corner a moment ago. There's an offensive rebound for 1 of 1. Brought back out. Loaded the gun, didn't pull the trigger, but down the lane he goes, and Johannes Connor has 10 already.
Wow, this guy's doing it all. He's perfect right now for the game.
He's only a sophomore.
Yeah, he can play.
Johannes Connor 4 for 4 and made both of his free throws, or actually 2 threes. Not free throws, but 2 threes, and he has 10 points. And Canyon continues to pour it on. They lead by 3 now, 15-12. That's the biggest lead by either team.
Well, these teams are shooting lights out. I mean, the shooting percentage is extremely high right now, and both teams are playing tough defense at the same time.
They're both at that timeout. We're both exactly 4 for 7, so 57%.
Well, this game right now, I don't know if you could tell on the screen, but just being here live, this is super intense. Playing a very, very high level. This is extremely high level high school basketball that you're watching here at the Beach Ball Classic.
Sebastian Akins hits the first of 2 shots. He'll get a second. 1 of 1 added a player coming to the tournament, Kaba Fanta, a 6'11 junior. He is actually the tallest player on the bench for 1 of 1. And here's a double team coming on the sideline. Good defense by 1 of 1, but a foul is called. Jared Torrance whistles a foul on Johannes Connor.
Well, a great trap there. They saw the opportunity, trap against the sideline, just a little too over-aggressive. So they got him trapped. Just keep him in it. Just squeeze him in it, let him make a mistake.
And I checked everything before the game, I promise you. I asked if there were any number changes, name changes. We have now the first substitution by 1 of 1 prep. We don't have a 30 on our roster. You have 30 on your roster, Wayne? And
Johannes Connor now with 12 points with a putback.
he was listed as 45, so that's Mo Maboop. He's 6'8", and they list him at 270. So, Mo Maboop. We are knotted again at 15. Inbounding for 1 of 1 is L.J. Rush. Sideline right in the backcourt.
I believe 35 is, no, that's Thockber. David Thockber, 7'1".
It could be. Again, they did not. For Canyon.
Canyon,
yes,
correct.
Yes, he's the San Diego State signee. Well, what a great place to go. A school that's as hot as fire right now.
I was just in San Diego. It's a great place to live.
Oh, went there for the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, and yeah, San Diego is awesome. And a 5-second count on the dribble. You know, in college, there is no 5-second count on the dribble anymore, but it's still in place in high school.
Well, you know what? It needs to be in college. I like that rule.
You do?
You know, keep the ball moving. Don't let somebody hold the ball.
5-second count was on that time, but they get it in to Maboop. And Maboop's turnaround little jump hook is no good. And Canyon running with it. Into the lane, out for a 3, on the way, short. And 1 of 1 pushes it right back. Tempo game on display here at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. 3 is short by Tayshawn Smith. And here comes Canyon again. We said something about the shot clock earlier.
Yeah, we don't need a shot clock in this game.
And here's a bank shot that's going to count, and it's going to be a 3-point opportunity. as he ran into the defender underneath the basket. You do see the restricted areas painted underneath the hoops here on a replay, but
tough call.
they are not in effect for the high school tournaments. Those are for our men's and women's college games that are played here, so no restricted area in high school. Coach Jermaine Jackson may have wanted that restricted area called instead of getting the charge. He got the blocking foul and a three-point play that gives Canyon. I thought it may have given him the lead back, but it ties the ball game with less than a minute to play in the first quarter.
Clock should have stopped. We got to reset this thing.
Yep. The shot clock didn't start when they inbounded the basketball. 1-of-1 prep.
You know, if you like watching freelance basketball, and I don't mean it's not organized because it is, but they're playing basketball.
Oh.
And that's the way basketball was meant to be played.
Like a ballet.
React
yes.
to what you see and then play accordingly, which is a beautiful thing.
Yes, and these two teams are, they exude athleticism. May have been a foul in the backcourt, but a turnover by Canyon.
Ooh.
And he steals it right back with both hands. Lead pass, 2-on-1 dunk.
Ooh, wow.
Highlight reel slam right there.
Beautiful passing all the way around.
By guess who? Jalik Dunkley Distant.
You gotta love it.
He dunked that one with lots of distance. .2018, we're under a half minute. And 1-of-1 has it in the front court, high on the right-hand quarter court. Nice ball pick by Maboop, out for three, and that was an NBA distance shot. And a long rebound for Canyon. 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Good defense out front by Isaiah Williams. He's got to let it go. It's good if it's in. Little high, and that'll do it. The end of the first quarter, and we've lost our game clock.
I think
it's gone haywire.
I think the ball hit the shot clock above the backboard. There you go.
It's back.
Got it back quick. Back in the old days, that'd be a problem.
Yes, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. I told you this Canyon International team has already played La Lumiere in their last game. They played Oak Hill Academy, which everybody in the country that follows high school basketball has heard of. They played them in the EYBL Classic, or the Bash, as they call it, over at Ridgeview High School in Columbia.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, they lost to Oak Hill Academy 72-68. They've already played Veritas Academy, Paragon Academy, AZ Compass out of Phoenix, and, of course, La Lumiere. And it's crazy the travel that this team does, but they're 6-6, and Coach McIntyre says they should be at the very least 11-2 or 11-1. My math didn't work out there, did it, Matt?
11.
Yeah, 11-1.
Well, they have a fine basketball team. Obviously, that's a given. But you know what? There's a lot of great teams in this country, and since this whole prep thing has started, where you got a lot of players leaving and going and playing together, basically. And I know there's a lot of different attitudes about that, and I have my own, and you have your own.
Yes.
But it does create some tremendous matchups.
Here's my one and only, prevailing thought. As long as they play each other, as long as they play teams that are on a level playing field with them, I'm okay with it. Oh my goodness. Dunkley went up and he was going to tear that rim off the backboard.
I don't know what his vertical is, but he was.
Look at how high he got up.
He was looking down at. Oh my goodness.
And now the distance was a little bit far that time. He was a little bit far away from the basket to get a dunk on it. But here's what I find: we've got another program here in the beach ball that is also just 3 years old. Obviously, Canyon this is their first season, 1-of-1 prep, 3 years old. What I find amazing is that you find these great players. Teams are, because schools like these are popping up everywhere, how there are enough great players to fill them all. It seems like every one of the teams we see are just loaded with talent. Not just starting 5, but all the way down the roster.
I would think you have to be in a city with a large population. So you got the Glendale, which is near Phoenix.
Yes.
So you got a large population there. You got this team from Indian Trail, which is right outside of Charlotte. So you've got a conglomerate of players from all around the area. It'd be very difficult to do a place like here in Myrtle Beach. Just not enough players to go, to form a team.
How do you identify them all?
No, that's the thing.
You got to go to so many
done.
places.
Yeah.
Milicevic scored on the last trip for Canyon, and they get it back with a 5-point lead. Both teams shot remarkably well in the first quarter, 67% for Canyon and 48% for 1 of 1. There's a step back 2. Foot was on the line. Ball is deflected out of bounds. I believe it's going to stay on this end. With the rare jerseys of 1 of 1, I just love them. Pink and black.
They do look good.
And here's now we've got a moving screen. T. Merck calls the foul on Isaiah Williams as he tried to screen off the defender coming to defend the 3-point shot. And you mentioned Indian Trail is the home of former Coastal Carolina quarterback and future NC State quarterback, which I am very happy about, and Grayson McCall, just outside of Charlotte.
Well,
it's amazing that he got away from those teams in North Carolina to begin with.
I'm glad he did.
I know you did,
to my alma mater.
because your alma mater is Coastal Carolina.
Oh, man, he had some injuries this year, but, he really put us on the map. He really did. It was like the perfect time, and COVID hit. He came. We're on TV every day, and he's just lighting it up. It was great.
So the one that led you to a bowl victory last week's pretty darn good as a freshman.
Freshman, Vasco, yeah. We're looking forward to next year. It's going to be good.
Here's a long 3. Bingo for Sebastian Akins. Boy, he dialed that one up from the next area code.
Yeah, the 3-point line is insignificant. Nobody shoots from there anymore. They shoot way past it.
Well, I've said many times on these broadcasts through the years, our floors are painted for both college and high school games. So the blue line is the high school 3-point line. The black line is the college 3-point line. But these high school players think nothing of shooting from well beyond the black line.
They're shooting NBA threes. But, that's kind of what the game has become, as you well know.
Yep.
Our good friend Mike D'Antoni kind of started that whole thing and just ballooned into this. It's what basketball is now. And so kids and coaches are allowing their players the freedom to shoot from there as long as they prove they can make at least 35%. Shoot it,
yep.
And you're good.
First one was short. The second one is on target for Jayon Pitt. And Canyon holds a 3-point lead. It's not been more than 5. And these teams have been flying up and down the floor. Might have been a double dribble there, but got away with it. Jayon Pitt. Pitt kicks it across around the horn. Dribble drive baseline right. He loses the ball. It's jammed through by Dunkley again. No, that's Pitt who dunked it, but whistle before the shot. And it's on Jeremiah Jackson. That's his first and the 4th team foul. Canyon is yet to foul here in the first half. So no whistles on the Scorpions just yet.
Well, 1 of 1 has attempted to take 2 charges, and to be honest with you, both of them could have been called a charge.
Absolutely.
But you got to give them credit. Kids putting their body on the line for their team, trying to make it a positive play. I know the coach is happy about that.
Coach Jackson is over there still working the official for an explanation. How's it 4-0 midway through the second quarter? And baseline right is where Noah George will inbound the ball. It's all the way out on the right point, about 30 feet from the hole. Now he gives it to Milicevic, and he double dribbled and gives it back to 1 of 1.
And the new addition, Koba Fonta, just entered the game, 6'11". You can already see his quickness. He was on the defensive end that time, and you can already tell he's just another athlete on this team.
I told you that Canyon International plays in the EYBL Scholastic. That's the Nike-sponsored Elite Youth Basketball League. Well, you can see on the one-of-one jerseys, they've got the Puma logo on the front, so that must be who LaMelo Ball is sponsored by, and he sponsors this team, so they proudly wear the Puma logo. Here's a spin move, and it's almost lost. Oh, he stepped on the half-court line, says T. Merck, and that's an over and back. 5:15 to go. Still a very tight ball game. Canyon International got the CIA on the back of their jerseys. That's Canyon International Academy from Glendale, Arizona. Leads it right now by 3 with the ball. Nice little crossover, ball screen by Milicevic. Pull-up jumper, baseline right. 15-footer is long. And a weak side rebound by Johannes Connor. He had 10 of their first 12 points, and we hadn't heard from him in a while. Here's a dribble penetration. Up and under with a reverse layup. Good.
Wow.
It's a one-point ball game again.
L.J. Rush come back in the ball game. Nice drive, using the rim as protection against the big guy and finishing on the opposite side.
Milicevic holds it high. Then a bounce pass to the low post, but stripped away. Pickpocket, Johannes, and then he got fouled hard. Johannes, the 6'3 sophomore. They have 3 sophomores, a junior, and a senior starting for one-of-one prep. And for Canyon, they also have a couple of, actually a sophomore, a junior, and 3 seniors starting. But we'll also see David Thockber, the San Diego State signee, 7'1", his height.
13th point for Connor. Big half for him, and you can tell he plays. He can play point. He can play forward, off guard. He kind of just a guy with all the skills.
And the second free throw is canned, and one-of-one retakes the lead. They've led by as many as 3, I believe, early on, but we're behind as many as 5. Now it's seesawed back in front. One-of-one, nice double team action, and then it forced the turnover on the baseline.
Well, one-on-one is a pressuring team. They're going to try to force you into turnovers and speed this game up, and right now they're getting those opportunities.
Second chance opportunity for the big fella. That is Cabafanta, 6'11 junior. And lead is extended out to 3. But I'll tell you what, this one-of-one team is quick as a hiccup.
Yes, they are.
Canyon is fast, but one-of-one is quick. Remember the old saying by the Wizard of Westwood, John Wooden, say, be quick, but don't hurry.
Well, smart man.
Yeah. Under 3.5. Dead ball will have timeout. Bounce pass under to Kaba. Kaba whips a bullet pass across the lane. And the jumper with one hand. Baseline left is off the mark. And here's a jump pass outside. Milicevic, 3, splash.
Well, Milicevic is a shooter, I tell you.
Oh, we've got a technical foul on the shooter. Actually, not on the shooter. It's on Amir Ali. He must have said something as the ball went through the rim. That was not pretty. But it ties the ball game at 27, and we'll come back with the final 3:13 of the first half from the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic. Well, you can't get more equal than this, James. 27 apiece, 14 for Johans Connor on the 1-of-1 prep side, 10 for Zion Pitt on the Canyon Academy side. Both teams shooting above 50%. It has been amazing. We've got a technical foul shot after the timeout as Zion Pitt was caught saying some dirty words to the 1-of-1 bench after the three-point shot.
Well, this game is like we just talked about. This is a fan's. This is great.
Yeah.
Sit and watch this basketball game. He's got solid players, and it's going so fast. We were talking about the game's going so fast. Coach don't have time to coach, which is kind of good. You know what I'm saying? No play calls. Just play basketball. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
You know, James, I've told this story on my sports talk show, which I do every day. Here's a dribble drive into the channel, pull up, one-hander, no good. But I told it, I said when you and I used to coach with Dan D'Antoni, and the team would be beating us pretty bad, and he'd call timeout, and I'd say, what are you going to tell him? We're down 20. He says, I'm not going to say a thing. I hope that guy on the other end of the bench down there starts coaching, because if he don't start coaching, we're in trouble.
Yeah. It's one of the best timeouts ever. Let the other guy start coaching. Maybe he'll screw him up. And more than once, that happens.
Exactly. I have seen it happen. Let that other guy start coaching. And we're going to tie it up with a second free throw by Milicevic, and he is 3 for 4 from the charity stripe this afternoon.
Milicevic is going to be a fine college player because he's got all the skills needed. He can play on the perimeter. He's quick enough to guard people in the post. He's thick.
Well, the West Coast is living off of Canyon International players. Milicevic is going to New Mexico State. Thockber's going to San Diego State. And Amir Ali to Arizona State. And there's another just highlight reel opportunity for a dunk. And L.J. Rush, he's only 5'11". He went up against a 6'7" guy, wanted to dunk his face.
I don't blame him. I would too.
If I could jump like that.
It'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be fun. Yeah, Rush, 5'11" sophomore, no fear. He puts his team back in front with 2 splashes of the free throw. 31-29. And Jermaine Jackson's team fell behind early. Not too far behind, but was able to fight back, and now holding a slight lead as we're under 3 minutes to play in the first half. To the line, to the lane, kick back out for a wide open triple, and he missed everything. That's not Mayam's shot.
I don't believe so.
He's 6'7", but he's only a freshman. He'll learn.
You know what, though? The beauty is the coach gives these guys a lot of leeway.
Free hand.
And confidence, man. You know, if he's going to mess up a little bit, that's okay.
It's trial and error, right, James?
That's right.
Can't let him, got to fail once in a while to succeed eventually. And we can have another tie ball game if Zion Pitt hits his next free throw. Now we're getting into a free throw shooting contest.
Alan, what do you think about this new the new five fouls to start shooting 2?
Oh, I like it.
I do too.
And the quarters, if you're playing quarters.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot better.
And here's a down the right side of the lane. Right-handed layup was too strong, and it's kicked out of bounds by Connor, so it'll belong to Canyon. You got the freshman, he's going to play underneath. Milicevic looking to come get the ball. Pressure full court now by 1-of-1. Milicevic hands off to George. George directs traffic. Here comes the double team, and it gets the steal. High for the alley-oop dunk to guess who? Johans Connor, the leading scorer in the ball game. He's got 16 now. Johan has had 10 of the first 12 for 1-of-1. Went quiet for a few minutes, and boy, he announced his presence with authority that time. There's a step through the double team and might have gotten bailed out.
Well, I tell you, 1-of-1 is doing a nice job of the jump switch defense. You turn your back, they're going to come from the backside and double team you, just like we saw at half court right there. Even driving down the lane, they're going to double team, then rotate and make you make a decision. And again, another call that could have went their way. It could have been a steal. But coach's got to be happy because they are so active on defense, making things happen.
And you can tell that they have been well schooled in that jump trap from the blind side.
Yeah.
And because they've done that and caused turnovers 3 or 4 times here in the first half.
And that's just another extension of freelance basketball. Offensively, you kind of just flow. Defensive, same thing. You got to read that. It can't be something the coach says, go double team. Too late. You got to be able to read it. And I can tell these guys, they're reading this thing. They're playing.
Especially for Tayshawn Smith. He has come and double teamed from the backside 3 or 4 times with perfect timing. LJ Rush, kick out for 3. Johans off the mark, but it's offensive rebound. And then a block shot on the putback attempt, but must have got a piece of the arm as well. That's on Andrew Jurcevic.
Well, now we're going to see how this 35-second shot clock works at the end of this half, how these teams manipulate the clock in their favor. And another thing to think about is this. You get the last shot of the half. Now, who's got the next possession coming out, which is going to be a 1-of-1 at this point.
Right.
So all these decisions are going to make a big difference. It could be a 6-point swing quickly.
And there's about 4 opportunities on one trip for 1-of-1 to keep the lead. It's up to 4. This might be their largest. Bounce pass. Nice to Pitt. Pitt underneath, and he got fouled again right underneath the bucket.
A good sportsmanship. A hard foul, but,
Yeah.
hard but clean. Didn't hurt him, helped him up. Sent him to the line for 2 shots, 1:06 left in the half.
There's a replay on the, we'll see if he did get away with one. Yeah, he does. That might have been a street mugging right there. I was thinking it might not have even been a foul.
Oh, wow. Oh, they're calling 2 shots and they get the ball, I guess, because he was around the head.
Yeah, the around the head area. That was a flagrant foul. And
yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't
the guy's
either.
falling down. He doesn't really have
he got him across
choice.
the shoulder, but I don't know if it was a flagrant foul or not. It was certainly a hard foul. And just saw the new head basketball coach at Coastal Carolina come in here. Benny Moss just came through a few minutes ago. He took over for Cliff Ellis, who after 49 years as a head coach resigned mid-season or retired mid-season a couple of weeks ago, and giving Benny a chance to take over, see what he can do for the rest of the year.
Coach Ellis had a heck of a run, all over the country. Been highly successful and really well thought of by former players and coaches, and we were lucky to have him.
NBA 3 that rings around and comes out, and it's batted out of bounds by Canyon. It'll be 1-of-1's ball. Yep, Cliff had over 900 wins. Took 4 different schools to the NCAA tournament. I don't know what else you can add to a career like that except maybe Hall of Fame.
I'm sure he'll be there in several places.
Yeah.
Because I know when he left Auburn, he was the winningest coach ever, and Clemson.
Yeah, I'm talking about Naismith. I think he should be,
Could be
in Springfield.
at some point.
Here's a pull-up jumper, in and out. And it's batted around, goes out of bounds, off of 1-of-1 this time. And we're under 45 seconds to play first half with a 3-point ball game. It's been under 5 the entire first half.
Yeah,
it's been the way it's supposed to play.
Yeah, these two teams are evenly matched.
Maybe a push-off on the play by Ali. He's been fairly quiet here in the first half. Ali is their leader against Oak Hill Academy.
Oh, the freshman came back and hit a 3 after shooting an air ball earlier.
Ali had 26 points against La Lumiere and 20 against Oak Hill. Right now, he sits at 0 points. So, and that's it. Actually, we've got 7 seconds. I thought I heard the horn. I'm going, is that it? So we got 7.8 seconds left. One of one.
Number 10, the Mayhem, the 6'7" freshman from Canyon, is really putting on a show right now. A big-time three, and then came down with a block.
I believe here's the coach's son, inbounds it, Jeremiah Jackson. You better speed it up a bit. Got 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Does get off a shot. Heel of the rim, no good. And we have played even basketball for 16 minutes.
As it should be. These two teams are really going at it. This is a big game for spectators. It's awesome.
Amazing. So we've got timeout, and the third member of our broadcast team will be joining us just in a few minutes. Jack Murphy will be interviewing someone of distinction here at the Beach Ball Classic. Halftime, 36 apiece between one of one out of Indian Trail, North Carolina, and Canyon International from Glendale, Arizona. James Brown, Alan Smothers back in a moment as well, courtside at the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic.
Viewers are calling Broken Halos a must-see movie.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I prayed the Lord my soul to keep.
So I understand you're hearing voices.
They're not voices, they're prayers.
Listen to what you're saying, it's scary.
I'm not a cop anymore.
Are you still hearing them?
Broken Halos is an inspirational thriller with a moving and powerful message.
What happens if you do nothing?
Broken Halos, streaming now and on Blu-ray nationwide.
Well, greetings from America's Sun Fun City. Jack Murphy courtside with the president of the BBC. Hello, Chad. Good to see you again.
Jack.
Day 2 for us. We've seen some great basketball today.
Yeah, great basketball today in this game. Currently is a great game.
What happens to these guys when they're not here at the convention center? I mean, they get to see some of the sights and stuff, right? What are some of the teams doing today?
Well, we've got teams going out to Rippetts Aquarium.
Okay.
They provide access to all of our teams. Also, the Broadway Grand Prix. They can go ride the go-karts, play putt-putt, whatever they have over there.
Right.
Then they'll go out to eat at our restaurants. Quite a few sponsor us. And so they're out and see what Myrtle Beach has to offer. Go to the beach. A lot of them will go in the ocean.
Ripley's Aquarium and go-karts.
That's
awesome. What are we doing here?
Exactly.
Man, I tell you what, it's amazing for some of these kids because this is strange. Many have not ever seen the ocean before.
Yeah, we have numerous kids that have never seen the ocean, and it's always great to watch them. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 20 degrees or 80 degrees, they're going to get in the ocean, and they'll go out, stick a toe in, come running back, and then all of them will go jump in at one time for 30 seconds and come back to say they've been in the ocean. So.
Well, the temperature outside is pretty decent. It's been nice all this week, had a little bit of rain, but that Atlantic water does cool off. I think the water temperature is about 53. Teams from Canada that come down here, they're unfazed by that.
Oh, yeah, and it doesn't matter. They want to be in the ocean, so.
Yeah. Well, man, it's good seeing you. We'll have you back on a little later on, talk about some of the matchups, some of the things that are happening special tonight. I think there's going to be some kind of tribute to Billy Hicks.
Yeah, we're going to try to do a little thing for Billy Hicks tomorrow night at the
at
the Great Crossing game, because Great Crossings is friends with Scott County back. They're the same county,
Sure.
and they wanted to do something for him as well.
We are going to chat with a referee from Eastern Kentucky that knew Billy tonight
great.
on a later broadcast.
Great,
okay?
sounds great.
Man, I appreciate all you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Dip your toe in some of that 50-degree water, but it heats up, which is why there's about 22,000 more folks calling Myrtle Beach home now than there were last year at the Beach Ball Classic. Discover more, visit myrtlebeach.com. We've got more of the Beach Ball Classic coming up.
From the Grand Strand to the farmland, from Main Street to the marshes, HTC is here to connect you to what matters most in your life. We're here to bring people together, here to play, and here to empower our communities with the largest fiber optic network in the area. Go with HTC. We are here to connect you to your world.
Back at halftime, we got a little bitty basketball going on here at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center between the Canyon International and One of One Prep Academy game. That is tied at the half at 36. And these two teams have been a model of consistency in the first half, James. Each team has 15 rebounds, or 14 actually for Canyon. Each team has 36 total points. Each team has 5 assists. Now each team has 14 points in the paint, but the big difference is points off turnover. One of One has 14-4 advantage in points off turnover, but the problem is the Canyon International has turned it over 11 times to just 7 for One of One Prep, and they were only called, I believe, for 1 foul. Actually, it ended up being 6 in the end. They were 0 for a while, but it's just a matter of these two teams playing tremendous basketball in the first half that has come out with an equal score.
Yeah, what's kept one of one in the game, which I shouldn't probably say it like that, but Canyon's only got 19 attempts at the basket because of 11 turnovers. But again, Canyon is a much taller team. One of One is extremely quick, trying to force the issue, double teaming the basketball, trying to make this thing speed up. But Canyon's held their own. It's been, like you said, the biggest lead's 5 points, so it's been even the whole time. And 36-36 is a good indication of what we saw.
Well, let's take a look at some first half highlights as the Scorpions took the lead early. That was first bucket, though, was made by One of One, and then Canyon International went on a spurt to get up by as many as 5. We're down by as many as 4, but Milicevic filled it up in the first half. He finished with 11 points on 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point range, and 3 of 4 at the line. He also added an assist, but he turned it over a couple times.
Connor's our man, though, 18 at halftime.
Connor Johans.
Yeah, he just did it all.
Connor, excuse me.
Yeah, he did everything, not just shoot the ball, but handle it, pass it, played an extremely solid first half.
Yeah, he had 10 of their first 12 points, finished with 18 in the first half, and he directed the offense. He was the trigger man for sure. But here's a surprise stat, though, almost shocking stat. Amir Ali not only didn't score, he took but 1 shot in the first half. Yeah. And he averages right around 20 points a ball game.
You got to believe he's going to get back into it. But what they're doing is they're double teaming him. They're taking the ball out of his hands and forcing that ball to get to somebody else. And, you know, once it leaves his hands, he's getting caught up top by the half-court line, and the ball's not getting back to him. And he's not doing a real good job moving after that either.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious to see what happens. Obviously, they have a scout report knowing he's the trigger, so they immediately double team him every time they get an opportunity, get it out of his hands and get it to somebody else's.
Zion Pitt was 4 for 4 in the first half for Canyon International, finished with 12 points and 10 rebounds, double-double in the first half.
Yeah, these and you look at all the talent on this court, the second half could be somebody totally different.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You got to know that Amir Ali he still may get 20.
Yeah, he's a real player now. He looks a little frustrated right now because, and the thing about this is, if you watch him interact with the officials, he's giving them bad looks. Well, they're not calling. They're letting the people put their hands on him, and so he needs to smile a little bit, be a little nice to the referees, and see what happens.
Well, and both teams played very well as far as keeping their hands to themselves early on, because I think we had a total of 8 fouls through about a quarter and a half, and got a little sloppy near the end of the first half, but you cannot fault these guys with the effort that they are exerting here in the first half. The athleticism is just dripping off these guys.
It is. You don't really see many high school basketball games that are up and down without a lot of stoppages with turnovers, fouls, but this game's been a game like that. It's been up and down, a lot of good basketball, a lot of people moving their feet, not using their hands, not getting called for fouls, and not turning the ball over a tremendous amount for high school teams. It's been a joy to watch the first half. Hopefully it continues.
I told you that one Prep Academy out of Indian Trail, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte, was started 3 years ago by Charlotte Hornets star LaMelo Ball, giving student athletes in the Charlotte area a chance to play at a higher level. He partnered with Carolina Courts to launch the One Prep Academy in Charlotte. The academy will help student athletes in the area play against top competition while preparing them for life on and off the court after the academy. Carolina Courts, which Ball is partnering with, is a multi-court sports facility in Charlotte. And like you said pregame, I think even before we went on the air, that more professional athletes and community programs like Carolina Courts need to be involved in young people's lives.
It's a good thing. It really is, because you got to believe these guys are held accountable at a very high standard, not just basketball, academically, how you handle yourself in the public. It's a good thing.
Beautiful dribble drive by Sebastian Akins, and he extends the lead, or gives One the lead to start the second half. First bucket, and Pitt gets it across the timeline. He has a double-double going into the second half, and he gets fouled as he reaches the cylinder this time, and we'll see who the foul is on. It's on Sebastian Akins, who scored on the other end. It's his second first-team foul here in the third quarter.
Well, obviously the coach from Canyon has went inside and did a good job coaching, because as soon as you saw that double team, the ball went to the free throw line. That's always a weakness in all defenses. Get the ball to the free throw line and then play. So straight to the free throw line, straight to the rim, negates all that double teaming.
Told you One comes in with an 8-3 record. Their last game, they beat Mount Zion Christian Academy, and they are a powerhouse basketball program in the state of North Carolina, up in the Durham, Raleigh area. And Mount Zion, they defeated them 66-57 on the 21st of December. Their last loss came against the Rock High School in a tournament back on December the 8th against, again, the Rock High School 55-47. But they defeated Charlotte Elite. They also beat Lincoln Charter and Word of God Christian. The only other loss by to Winston-Salem Christian, who is also in this tournament. So they may end up seeing them again. Here's a jam by Jalik Dunkley Distant, his second of the ball game. Draws Canyon to within one. Penetration, kick back out, then he dribbled it off his foot out of bounds.
Well, a good pass down here by Canyon, getting double team, but then passing out of that double team. You know, that's the key. Pass out of the double team and be strong about it, and somebody cut to the basket, you get an easy one.
Winston-Salem Christian won their first game here yesterday, so they are on to the semifinals, and they defeated the One Academy back on November the 18th, 81-75. And ironically, the last team to defeat them last year was Winston-Salem Christian in the state tournament, or in their final game of the season. Winston-Salem Christian won that one 67, or make that 73-67. So trying to do all my homework as best I can, but these two teams were the hardest to really find information on the World Wide Web. And it's hard when we get 16 teams coming in here every year to learn as much as we can in less than a couple of weeks about each of them.
Well, you've done a good job, Alan. I tell you what, you've done your due diligence.
Well, I try to give each coach a quiz before every game, and it still doesn't get it right half the time. But so I apologize to anyone if I mispronounced names. I think I said Andrew Jurasevich, and I pronounced that one wrong. But think I've done okay with the rest of them. Jeremiah Jackson gives it off to Connor. Connor, low post pass. Now back up at the elbow, straight away. Here's a long three from straight out above the top of the key. And it's too strong. Canyon with a chance to retake the lead here. They've not led in the second half. Almost got caught in no man's land. Gets it off to Milicevic. Milicevic, turn away jumper is no good.
Too much dribbling. The ball never got off one side of the court, which makes it easy for the defense.
Good save on the sideline, and then they find the little man open underneath. He misses, but got his own board and stuck it back in. L.J. Rush. He was determined that time. Canyon. Dribble drive down the channel. Middle of Blood Alley.
Well, I think Canyon's decided we're taking the ball to the rack. We're just going right straight to the rim and see if they can handle us, and it's been effective the second half.
Johannes Connor called for the foul. So Pitt will go to the line to add to his team-leading total.
Tell you another thing about these teams is the conditioning. Both these teams in tremendous condition because this game is played at a high intensity. There's nothing easy. There's no easy dribbles, no easy passes. Anytime you cut, somebody's trying to derail you. So these teams are in tremendous condition this early in the season.
These guys have been at a breakneck pace since the beginning. A missed free throw, but he got his own rebound. That's following your shot right there.
Yeah, it is.
And he's going to get another chance. No, he's not, as it was picked in his pocket. And Johannes Connor all the way to the bucket, and he scores it coast to coast.
Well, he's been the star of the game. I think he's up to 20 now, but it's not just
points.
that. He does a little bit of everything for his team.
Yeah, Connor got the steal, and then he didn't slow down until he got all the way to the backboard and laid it in off the window good. That puts Prep up 45-40.
Nice drive by Distant, going inside, protecting the basketball, uses off arm to defend, to create some angle for the shot.
First free throw in the air, snaps the net, pulls them back to within 4. The biggest lead for both teams has been 5, as Canyon led by 5 in the first half, and that 5-point lead cut here by 1 as he misses the second, way short. And Connor, man, is he a, I mean, he's just.
They got a football team there?
He is fast as
give
lightning.
that guy the ball. Nobody going to catch him. Oh,
he is
goodness.
lightning fast. Inbounds, sideline left, and he's going to go all the way to the hole again, and he got the roll. Boy, sometimes better to be lucky than good. It's better to be both.
Yeah, I believe he was good on that one, too.
Better to be both. And there's another spin, and a late whistle brings us to a timeout, and the biggest lead of the ball game for either team. 1 of 1 Prep up by 6 with 3:53 to go in the third as we take timeout. James Brown, Alan Smothers back in 2 minutes right here at the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic on WatchStadium.com. Back courtside at the Lambeau Arena inside the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. At the free throw line, Canyon Academy's Jalik Dunkley distant, 6'7" senior. I'll tell you, as fast as these teams have moved the basketball up and down the court, James, that doesn't lend itself to a high shooting percentage. Well, these teams are going against the grain. 53% for Canyon, 48% for One of One. And One of One has just now turned the tables in the paint. They've got 8-2 in the second half because they were tied at 14 at halftime.
And they're out rebounding Canyon.
There's another two in the paint.
There's that guy, man. I tell you what.
Johans Connor, top scorer in the ball game. He now has 24. Cross-court dribble. 5-second count on, a little Euro step. Gets away with the walk, I think. But here's a three by Milicevic. And all of Canyon's shots here the last couple times have been short.
Well, that's because you got too many dribbles. The ball's not moving. And so they end up taking a shot they don't want to take. There's only a couple passes, and that's it.
Hard to be short from point-blank range. And then as the ball handler took his eye off the target, he fumbles it out of bounds.
Yeah, a little nonchalant, because that's probably the only nonchalant play we've seen.
Yeah.
We've seen some really high-intensity, totally focused players.
Yeah, that's the ninth turnover by One of One Academy. Neither team has been bad at turning it over, but neither has really valued the ball a whole lot either. They get it to Pitt. Pitt back outside to George. George, you're right. A lot of dribbling right now. Here's a three, very short again. You think their legs are getting a little tired?
Look how many one of one players attack the basketball when it comes off that rim. I mean, they're just swarming.
Well, we're seeing David Thockber for the first time here in the second half. He played, I think, 2 minutes in the first half for Canyon. Yeah, 3 minutes. He got 3 minutes in the first half, and this is his first action with less than 3 minutes to play in the third quarter here in the second half. Thockber's the big 7-1, but they'll put him in the weight room at San Diego State, I'm sure.
Well, Canyon right now is in a tough area right now. They're
a little bit of funk.
They're struggling right now. It's a 6-point ball game. One of one's coming down. They got to be careful here, not let this thing get away from them.
One of One has made their last 4 shots. And we've got a whistle away from the ball. I believe it's going on Thockber. It will.
Well,
it's his first.
Fonta was in there posting up tough, trying to establish that post position. They had 4 out, 1 in, trying to get him the ball against the Canyon defender.
Between the two of them, James, this is not a criticism, but they may have more inches than pounds between the two of them.
You know what's funny is in about 4 years ago, 4 years from now, you won't recognize them.
No, they'll be
turn into men, young men. Huh?
When they get to their college destination, they will be well schooled with a strength and conditioning coach. Those are becoming big deals.
Amir Ali, even though not playing that well today, and as you said, he averages about 20 points a game recently. Just think about it, he's 6'8" playing the point and handles himself well. He's going to be a valuable addition. I mean, the kid can really play.
And I believe Bobby Hurley's still at Arizona State. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did a nice job getting that kid because he has some talent. And One of One Prep wants timeout with 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Well, up by 6. Canyon's struggling right now, and
they've
One of One's turned up the pressure on them.
They've gone into a funk offensively, helped by that defensive pressure.
Yeah,
and One of One.
And One of One does such a, oh my goodness, you talking about just swarming the basketball. No matter if it comes off a rebound, when the double team happens, their rotations, they're just relentless on you. And if you're not on point all the time, it's going to create a gap between you and them on the scoreboard, and that's what's happening right now. 6 points, One of One with the basketball, looking to go up by 8 or 11. So this could be a pivotal part of this basketball game.
Our next game coming up in this division will be at 7 o'clock. Huntington Prep takes on the defending Prep champion of the Beach Ball Classic, Jay Addison from Canada. But our next game up is a traditional school or public school game, North Crowley, Texas, taking on St. Peter's out of Brooklyn, New York. And here's a three from deep in the left corner. Canyon finally, actually that was 1 of 1, extending the lead to 9. That's the biggest by either team.
Oh, watch out.
Oh, I almost.
Your computer handled that.
Yeah, the computer did all right, but my hands didn't. I usually have better hands than that.
Well, as you see right there, a 1 of 1 with the full court pressure, trapping, and almost picked that off.
Canyon has gone about 2 minutes without a bucket, and that's why 1 of 1 has extended their lead. Here's a kick out, Milicevic. He's got a wide open three, doesn't get the roll or the bounce, and then you've got the big man going over the top.
Well, Wilkins in there battling for position on that rebound, doing a good job, being very active, but got called for the foul. But you know what? Kids boxing out, they get called for a foul. You can't get mad about that. Thockborough, 7'1", San Diego State signee.
Yep.
Going to the line for 2.
No more critical.
No more 1-on-1s in the world.
Yeah, 2 critical free throws, and he pulls the string on the first. Down 9, you need every point. I know we still have a quarter to play, but you don't want to get too far in arrears. Second free throw is a line drive that hits the front of the bucket and ricochets off to L.J. Rush, who quickly brings it to the front court. High on the left hand. Gets a ball screen at the head of the key. Steps back for a three. That's way short. It was partially blocked by the 7-footer. But 1 of 1 gets another chance. Again, backing it out.
The shot clock should not have been reset because the ball did not hit the rim.
Never hit the rim.
So I got to figure out what we should be at right here.
We did have that yesterday in a game that the ball missed the bucket completely, shot it over the basket, and they reset the clock. And with only 4 seconds left in the shot clock rotation.
This has got to be under 10, I would think.
I think he thinks, the official thinks so as well, but they've put up 20 seconds.
Oh, wow.
But you're right, that three-point shot, the step back was partially blocked.
So it came down to 12. I think 12 is about right.
12 seconds, okay.
So you can see how spread 1 of 1 keeps it. Trying to create driving lanes.
And while that is sometimes, that's very high off the window and a shot clock violation as the ball hit the backboard, didn't hit the rim, but they play on. And 1 of 1 gets a third opportunity.
I tell you what, this is a scrappy group, and there's that guy again, Johannes Connor, getting his hands on the ball, going up, now going to the line for 2.
Johannes seems like he's playing Santa Claus this week. He's everywhere. And he can make this a double-digit lead for the first time by either squad, but he caroms off the first.
Well, players got distracted by the shot clock violation.
I think so, too.
Went off, and everybody froze except for Connor. He realized, okay, the ball's still alive till you hear the whistle.
And the second one is on the way, and he misses both. This one too strong. So it's still a single-digit ball game. 3 possessions, but maybe not. It's a 3-on-1 break. They lead it out front for L.J. Rush, and he makes it an 11-point game, 54-43, under a minute to play.
Well, they're creating havoc right here in the backcourt. They're putting so much pressure on these guards.
Yeah, 1 of 1's defense been fairly suffocating here in the second half. And they started out of the locker room double teaming, or even late in the first half. You talked about the blindside traps that they were throwing on people.
His coach did a good job at halftime. they realize that their strength in this basketball game is their quickness to make this team get up and down, make them handle the ball, take the ball out of the point guard's hands by double teaming, make some other people handle it, and make decisions. The thing you can't do, though, is you can't foul. Get them in the double team and hold them in it, and then let the guys, the rest of your teammates, make the next play.
That's the first point by Canyon in 2.5 minutes. They're 1 of 7 from the field over the last 2:42. And he whips the net on the second one, so at least it breaks the long drought by Canyon International, cuts the lead back to 9, and we are down to 24 seconds. They may try to hold for the final shot, but I don't know if that's in their DNA.
Oh, no.
And we got an offensive foul, a push-off, and that was away from the ball too, James.
And the coach is just grabbing his head, go, why would you do that? We're not even looking for a shot yet.
Here's a rebound. Oh, yeah, he just threw him down.
All we're trying to do is play catch until it's about 8 seconds, and we play. And that was silly.
So Canyon has a chance to get back-to-back scores here. And there's more defense. Man, 1 of 1's defense is just shutting people down. That almost like he dribbled into a Bermuda Triangle right there.
And again, there was 14 seconds on the clock to go in the quarter. You don't need to do that. You want the last shot. Bring it out, pass it around, set it up. 8 seconds to go, then go.
Man. Now that's what Rush is going to do. Rush is going to, now he's going to fire it up with 2 seconds left. And this one barely draws iron as we finish the first 24 minutes. And it's a 9-point cushion as 1 of 1 prep. We were tied at halftime, and it's actually going to be an 8-point cushion because I think Wayne White, our statistician, now they're giving him another point. Is it 9 or is it 8? It's 9, I believe.
But
okay.
Mismanagement of the clock in the last minute by both squads really for Canyon could allow them to kind of dig into this lead, and 1 of 1 had a chance to really expand this thing because they had the ball, could have waited for the last second, end up with a silly foul, and this lead could have been 10, 11, 12 points. So we've had a clean ball game though.
Yeah, we were again tied at 32 at the half. Or I'm sorry, tied at 36 at the half, and 18-9 third quarter by 1 of 1 has made this a 9-point ball game because Canyon has not scored a field goal in over 3 minutes.
Yeah, and the only way they've scored is get to the free throw line.
Yep.
1 of 1's whole thing is they're playing outstanding defensive basketball without fouling. They got to continue that. The only chance Canyon has is in that scenario is get to the free throw line. But you know what? It's still only 9 points. You only talk about 3 threes, and you're right back in the ball game.
Working those second chance points is what worked for 1 of 1 in the third quarter. 15-4 in second chance points now, and in the rebounding department, it was 15-14. It's now 27-21.
And it's just flat out hustle. These guys are just got nothing to do with height or anything. It's just their intensity is taking over this ball game.
Jeremiah Jackson right in front of the broadcast desk will inbound to start the fourth quarter. Final 8 minutes. James Brown, Alan Smothers with you courtside at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center inside the J. Lambert Schwartz Arena. He was one of the founding members of the Beach Ball Classic Committee. J. Lambert Schwartz, we call him Lambo, or did, affectionately. His son Mike was many years on the committee as well. And here's a dribble drive to the right side of the lane, and after the release, he was fouled. So a 2-shot.
And you know what? Tremendous defense because you had a guy taking a very difficult shot, and then you bail him out with a foul.
So Noah George goes to the free throw line. George on the ball game is 2 for 2 from there. Make it 3 for 3.
And George has handled a lot of the point guard position this game. Ali struggling somewhat. George just came in and played solid.
That's his 10th point, make it 11. So he had 3 for 4 from the field in the first half, so you're right. George took on a lot of responsibility in that first half. Man-to-man defense now by 1 of 1. They'll make that Canyon. Canyon, pass down low. Cabafanta. Fanta tried an interior pass. Maybe one pass too many. Here's a fast break opportunity for Canyon, and they score. That's their first field goal in over 3.5 minutes.
Well, it's tough when you line up for the charge and the guy jumps around you.
And they tried this time, and are we going to call I think one of the officials called a charge, one called a block, and the baseline official is going to win out with a block.
It is two-shot foul. Let's see what we got here.
Either way, no restricted area here in high school, so.
Well, you know, he was stable. He was there.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's tough for the officials when the guy jumps sideways.
Right,
You know,
he
so it's good defense, but good offense. You know, you put a little doubt in the official's mind, it's probably going to be a block.
Yeah, the baseline official, Jared Torrance, was closer to the call, but maybe he had a bad angle on that sideways jump by the shooter, and we've got a 30-second timeout on the floor as Canyon trying to fight back into it. Was down by as many as 11. Scored immediately to cut it back to 9. That's the way we went into the fourth quarter. And now it's 7, 56-49. But 1 of 1. Gonna have the ball underneath. And the Scorpions of Canyon International, they have played in Las Vegas. They've played in Maryland. They have played in Phoenix. They have played in Dallas. And they're headed to Utah. They've played in Maryland and 2 different tournaments here in South Carolina.
You know, basketball is a great thing, but I bet these kids are going, please take me home. I want to see my
home?
I want to have some home-cooked food for my mom.
Yeah, that's amazing. And they play in what's called the NIBC League. That's a Nike-sponsored EYBL, the Elite Youth Basketball League. Adidas, I think, runs one that is called the Grind Session, which is a league of other prep schools like this. And at the end of the year, they all try to earn their way into the Geico National Championship, which you'll see on ESPN sometime in the month of March or April. And but Montverde has been the team to beat, as our longtime friend there, as Montverde has been here twice, but Kevin Boyle brought St. Patrick's out of New York here several times and won the beach ball. So he's won it at 2 different schools.
Well, these schools, these prep schools, this is really, they've created a whole nother division before Division I. Now you have a division. It's kind of like the old CBA used to be for, like the G League is now. You know, there's different layers now. Everybody trying to get in the NBA, and it gives players an opportunity to play against better competition, travel the country, experience some things.
Well, Canyon has definitely experienced some stuff. I'm sure 1 of 1, even though they've played a lot of games around the state of North Carolina. They're on their way to a lot of road games as well, because they don't have a home court. They're 5-0 on the road and 3-3 at neutral sites, if you want to call it that. So they don't have a home court.
Wow. Times have changed, my friend.
Yeah. It's.
But you know what? There's a place for that. And then in the regular Beach Ball Classic, you got hometown players on hometown teams, and that's a beautiful thing too. You know?
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's what I grew up on.
I think
you went to the school where you grew up.
Yeah, everybody loves
neighborhood school.
Everybody loves that. But there's a place for this too.
I think so. I think so. I really do. And as I said in the first half, the only issue I have with it is private schools wanting to play in a public school league. That is not a level playing field, and
for anybody on any sport in any state.
At any sport in any state.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've been there.
As long as they're playing against each other, like we have a prep school division here and a traditional school public school division. They're not playing against each other.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
And I don't want to get into it, but I
No.
know on your show
I have many times.
They've just done the reclassifications. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in South Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, out of bounds play to Johannes Connor. And he was up there, Daddy.
That sophomore can play. My goodness.
Leading scorer in the game, just keeps adding to it. And he's playing some pretty suffocating defense right there as well. And he's whistled for a foul. Johannes wanted to push off.
Yeah, well, you know,
So did Coach Jackson.
You know,
he's holding his head in his hands.
He's playing defense so aggressively. You force the official to do something. You can't let too much go.
But
Good call, but also good defense.
after our media timeout at the 4-minute mark or there below, I wanted you to tell us about your trip next month to Africa for the trek up the mountain. Well, we've got time out here, so we got a little time to talk about it as they call timeout before our media break. You're headed to Africa in a couple of weeks, in fact, to traverse.
Next week.
Next week?
Yeah, I'll leave next Tuesday.
Traverse Mount Kilimanjaro. What possessed you to come up with something like that?
Well,
now, I know it's for the Ashley G. Adventure.
Yeah, the foundation, the Cancer Foundation. So
And James has ridden his bicycle from place to place across this country twice from coast to coast.
Yeah.
I mean, from California to South Carolina. But now with a new challenge, a new adventure to climb Mount Kilimanjaro to support the Ashley G. Foundation.
Correct. So we wanted a new adventure. We've done the other one 10 times, 12,000 miles, 20. You know all the stuff, 25 states, all that stuff, and which is fun. But we wanted a new adventure. So my cousin contacted me and said, let's climb Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. And I said, what? So then I started doing some investigating, and I said, you know what, we can do this. And I think people will be interested. I think they'll be interested in following everybody we've talked to and the videos we put out. We have thousands of people following us. And a lot of it's the intrigue of, I don't know much about it. I don't know anything about it. Can I do it?
Yeah.
I think I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a shot. So it starts I leave Tuesday and we fly, and then next Friday we'll start climbing the mountain, 8 days up, 2 days down, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge, but I believe we're going to make it.
If you want to help James in this effort, not the cost of the climb, but the foundation, which is Ashley G. Foundation. And Ashley was one of James's former student athletes that passed away of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, cancer, several years ago. And James, her family started a foundation to raise money for not only research, but to help families who are also suffering the same fate. And if you want to help any way you can, give money, give Christmas gifts for kids at the Pediatric Cancer Center down in Charleston, go to AshleyGFoundation.com. That's AshleyGFoundation.com. All right, it's down to a 6-point lead as a foul is called on Canyon.
Well, we just had 23 freshmen. You got the help with this name right here. I'm sure you've already said this.
Asari Yuri.
Well, he came straight off the bench and makes just a sweet jumper and cut this lead to 6. He hadn't played a lot this game, but you can tell he's an athlete and got plenty of talent.
Yes, 6'10" freshman. And not a good shot there by Mr. Williams. He's a 6'7" freshman, but he had sweat on his hands. He had to wipe it off.
Yeah, I bet he hits this one. No.
A little too long on that one.
But he got the
almost got the offensive rebound on the long ricochet of the free throw.
And you know what? The hustle. Because he hustled, there's a foul on Canyon. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's the reason that they've taken this 11-point lead. It's down to 6 now, but their extra effort here in the second half has put them in good stead so far.
But, Canyon's still within striking distance, and there's a turnover.
You got a turnover. Watch out. This is Dunkley distance, but he misses it. And a nice tap out by one of one. 3-on-2 break. Kick across for a 3 in the air, off the heel, and a big rebound by Osayuri.
Look at the floor right now. You got 3 one-on-one guys down on the floor scrapping against one Canyon guy. These guys are relentless. This coach has really got these guys playing hard.
Yeah, Coach Jackson said that LaMelo Ball, who started this school 3 years ago and is one of their main benefactors, works with the kids during the offseason. Not as much during the season, obviously. He's busy. he's
especially
busy.
This year, since last year he was injured.
Yeah.
So it's a big year for him.
And he is probably the most talented player on that Hornets roster.
Oh, tremendous player.
58-52. And Canyon trying to get back into it. Get it to the biggest guy on the floor, Jayon Pitt. Pitt. He's the top scorer for Canyon. Cross-court dribble, Noah George. Changes directions, got a 5-second count on. And they got it. Yep. He just kept dribbling back and forth and back and forth. And Jeremiah Jackson was within arm's length of him the whole time.
Yeah, they're usually well within arm's length. They're usually right up inside your jersey the whole game, forcing you to be a real player.
I've told you that coming up, Canyon International has tournaments scheduled in January. James, get this. In Indiana, Phoenix, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Los Angeles, California, Dayton, Ohio, and back in Phoenix again. 5 tournaments in the month of January.
How these guys go to school?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe basketball is the school.
That's it. I think it's got to be some online courses and.
Well, if it is, I'll tell you what, they're getting a full dose. That's a lot of basketball.
That's a lot of basketball. So 58-52 with 4:18 to play. Boy, things have slowed down considerably here in the fourth quarter because I thought we were going to be in and through the TV timeout a long time ago.
These guys are traveling more than colleges do.
Oh, way more.
Yeah.
Way more. But that's by design. And another timeout. And when we get below 4 minutes, we're going to get another one. So, but yeah, the travel. I mean, heck, they're going more places than you've been over the last 5-10 years.
These kids are seeing the country. But there's a lot to that, as you well know. We used to be involved with soccer. We traveled to a lot of tournaments, and the cool thing about the basketball is great, but more importantly, the people you meet, the types of people, the communities that you get to see and be around, it impacts your life. And these young guys, when I was their age, I never thought about that. My mind was like in about a 5-mile radius.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. My sport was baseball, and if we got to go to Martinsville, Virginia, I played in Greensboro, North Carolina. If we went to Martinsville, Virginia, that was a long road trip.
Yeah, you're big time.
That was a long road trip.
Yeah. It's good, though. It's good for these guys, get out and see something different and work hard, try to make something out of themselves. Basketball will take you a lot of places. For most people, it's not going to take you to a paying job, but it's going to get you in position to meet people, to prepare yourself to be a –
Well, that's a great thing about going to all these places and meeting all the different types of people and the sponsors and whatnot, is that, the guys who don't make the NBA may have made some contacts that will help them in their future career.
And that's the most important thing, because 99.9% are not
going
to ever get
the
paid to play basketball. Now, you may coach, or you may find another avenue of employment that you really enjoy. So, obviously, the more connections you make, the more chances you have.
Well, Canyon still trying to cut into that lead. It's 8, but here's a touchdown pass and a dunk for Dunkley Distant. And it's back to 6.
Yeah, I've always thought people want to pressure full court, throw it long. Burn them, especially if there's nobody back. They're just sitting there. They're set up for it.
And that one was not even a Hail Mary. He caught it in stride and flushed it with both hands. There's a jump pass outside. Shot clock down to 15. And it's stolen. Chance to get it down to 4, maybe 3. And we got a foul on the dribble. Oh, a tie or a charge Oh, my goodness. Josh Washington is saying that
my goodness.
Milicevic must have threw his arm out, and we've got a timeout on the floor, 60-54. Canyon blew a tough one right there at the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic.
The Beach Ball Classic would like to thank the City of Myrtle Beach for their support and involvement of the 2020 Beach Ball Classic. Remember, when you decide to visit Myrtle Beach, visit Horry County. From beaches to rivers, from world-renowned restaurants to farm to table. From the newest to the oldest, Horry County has it all.
Inbounding, 1 of 1. Attacking the bucket to our right as they lead it by 6. But Canyon International blew a golden opportunity to get it to within a couple of possessions on that last trip as Milicevic was called for throwing the arm out on the drive at the top of the key. Around the defender, dribble for a 3 in the left corner, swish! Guess who? Johannes Connor. That puts him up to 31 for the ball game, James.
Well, he's had an outstanding game, and he had a 6'11" guy in his face and nailed it.
Johannes Connor, 31 points and 7 rebounds. He's flirting with a double-double. We had one in the first half for Connor, for Canyon. 16 and 12 right now for Jayon Pitt. They get a 2-point runner in the lane. Good ball handling by Sebastian Akins. Akins gets it back after cross-courting a pass. And now they're going to run some clock. Bring the defender to him. Down the lane he goes. T. Merck calls a whistle on number 42 of, is that right? No, 24. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's on Johan Milicevic. So he's gotten them on both ends on the last couple of trips. That's the 4th foul on Milicevic.
So 1 of 1 now. Let's look at the scoreboard. He's going, we're up 8. Every time we come down, let's spread this floor. Let's take advantage of our quickness, and let's get to the hole and then play from there.
And obviously before I started helping you and Coach D'Antoni and learning the game of basketball, I didn't realize just how important spacing is on offense.
Well, in basketball, it's everything.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the spacing is creates angles to drive and cut, and without that, it's really tough.
Well, there's a 3 on the near end, and Canyon draws back to within 6. It got back up to 9. But Canyon's not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. There's 2:28 to go. They were down as many as 11 in the third quarter after being tied at halftime.
Yeah, so you got to believe 1 of 1's going to come down here, keep his floor spread. But be aware, we have a shot clock, so they can't just stall it. They got to play. Canyon's got to keep them in front of them, try to keep them out of the lane, make them shoot jump shots, to make them, but allow them no offensive rebounds. That's the key. They're they're not going to hit every shot. They're going to miss some. So get those rebounds, get down, and then take it to the rim. That's your strength.
And 1 of 1 has been relentless on the backboards. In
Yeah.
fact, it was 15-14 at the half, and on last check, it was 32-21 in favor of 1 of 1.
And just flat out hustle.
Yeah.
Just scrapping for the basketball on the boards.
So they've got the lead in the ball inside the center jump circle. Sebastian Akins, he hangs and fires. There's an offensive rebound, but a missed putback, and now Canyon's on the run. Lead pass, Milicevic. Milicevic runs over a defender. Good call by T. Merck on that one.
Yeah,
he blocked it, got there late.
Yeah, he got there a little late. Good effort, but got a little late. And here they go. They go to the line. Clock's not running. Got a chance to cut this lead from 6 down to 4 or 5. So they're still right in there.
So you saw the replay. There was clearly a blocking foul. Sends Milicevic, who has missed but 1 at the line tonight. Milicevic was 3 for 4, I believe, if I find it. Yes, 3 for 4.
So 35-second shot clock. So you potentially at least 4 possessions. Probably won't last that long. So you don't have a whole lot of possessions left. So Canyon comes down here on defense this time. It's imperative that 1 shot and get the rebound, come down here with a chance to cut this lead down to 3 or 2.
So Johans Connor has become one of an elite group of players to score 30 points in this tournament over 43 years, 42 plus now. Only 183 other players have scored 30. Well, 183. I know, but that's
a lot of years, too.
A lot of years with a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So
a lot of great players.
The 184th player to score 30 points in this game. You know who leads the scoring?
Bibby.
No, it's Bibby held it for the longest time. Jalik Felton actually holds the record for the single game.
Really?
He beat Luke Kennard's 55. Oh. He scored 56 in a game.
He shot every time he got it.
Yeah, of course. He told me he was going to break the record
Luke
before
Kennard
the game.
was trying to actually win the game.
Yeah. Jalik told me he was going to break the record before the game, and at halftime I think he had 18. I said, I don't think he's going to get it. Guess what? He got it.
Yeah.
So, you're right. He had to shoot every time. And the lead's 4 and 1 of 1. Coach Jackson comes out on the floor and encourages his young man to work a little harder on the backboard.
Well, now it's time and score. So 121 left, up by 4. The mentality changes. The things you do now you probably wouldn't do in the middle of the game. So now it's about protecting the ball, getting the shot we want, either get fouled or get a wide open shot, and then play tough defense. We're still 2 possessions ahead. So they're still in control of this basketball game.
Although Canyon just lost one of its scoring threats in Jovan Milicevic, who just fouled out.
Okay.
So he's.
But they still, both these teams go to the bench and they had a whole lot of fall off.
No, that was a common foul, so there's no shooting here.
Yeah, that was just their 4th. So the next one, Canyon will be shooting. This is one of the best times of the game when you talk about coaching and then players being coachable, understanding the situation and how can we play accordingly. And we're going to see.
This is the first game that's going to go right down to the last 30 seconds or less of the tournament so far. Most of the games have been fairly comfortable leads for the winning team at the end, but these two are so evenly matched, you would expect no less.
Yeah, this is great for our tournament.
Absolutely it is.
You want competition.
So 1 of 1 gets the ball in the backcourt. Up by 4. Down to $1:17 to play. Here's a dribble drive to the left elbow. Loaded the gun for 3, decided not to pull the trigger. Shot clock at 17. Just running a little clock right now. Good guard out front by Orisari. Oh, he almost lost it himself, and he did. He threw it away as the player cut in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I think if we had replay, I think
you think it was deflected?
I think it was deflected. But you know what? They put pressure on him. He made a mistake. So
Tayshawn Smith went one way and the ball went the other, but maybe Canyon got a fingertip on the ball that made it go in the opposite direction.
Good job by Canyon right there, keeping the ball handler in front of him.
And I tell you what, L.J. Rush is all over Pitt. He finally got it in the back court across the 10-second line. Hands off to George. We're under a minute. Here's the lob pass. Pitt back out for three. Still 2 possessions, 3 in the air, short. Batted around. Actually, Milicevic must not have fouled out. They said the foul was on 24, and that was his 5th foul. But he's in the ball game. Has he got his 5th foul, Wayne? Was that they said 24 was his 5th foul. And he's in the ball game. Yeah, but 1 of 1 got the ball. All right, I'm talking about before that. It was 24. It was Christian Wilkins. Has he even played? Okay, we'll sort it out early. Okay. So they said, well, they called the foul on Christian Wilkins, and 1 of 1 got the ball. I don't know how that works, but
5-point lead now, 33 seconds.
Yeah, still 2-possession game, and Pitt needs to get it ahead. He does. To Ali. Ali has not scored in the game, but he's going to get 3 free ones right here.
My goodness, Cardinals send foul on 3-point shooter, and he's shooting a 3 on the dead run pull-up.
And it's Ali who is the top scorer on this team, and that is the 5th foul on a 1 of 1. What's that? Tayshawn Smith.
Yeah, 15 just fouled out.
Okay, he fouled out. Tayshawn Smith, the 6'7" junior. Now that one I could see, but I didn't see Christian Wilkins fouling out. But again, he must have, even though 1 of 1 got the ball. But now, again, the top scorer for this team, Amir Ali, who is 0 for 1 in the game, officially, is going to get 3 shots here. First one is on the way, and he pulled the string on it. And I asked you earlier, James, do you think this is a leg situation with these guys?
They
Everything has been short.
Yeah.
Everything has been short in the second half. But you'd think they look like they're in tip-top condition. Another one hits the front of the rim, the back of the rim, and rolls off to the right. So.
Well, he's struggled this game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He's a tremendous player.
Everybody has an off night, and they bring back in biggest guy on the floor, Moore Maboop, 6'8", 270-pounder. I don't think he's 270. That's what they listed him at, but might be a football player as well. But we got 27 seconds left. Missing these 2 out of 3, it just hurts tremendously, Canyon. But it's still only a 2-possession game. And we've got, they're going to have to foul because the shot clock is off now.
Yeah, it's free throw contest now. So whoever makes free throws is going to win the basketball game. If 1 of 1 makes them, they can't get beat unless they turn the ball over.
We're not to that situation yet, James, but we have a chance to discuss it a little bit. You and I haven't really talked about this over the years, but if you're up 3 and they get the ball, do you foul if you're the defense to put them on the line, or do you let them run the clock and take a shot?
I think you should foul.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to look at it. I mean, the way people shoot threes now, they make them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But
the thing is, if you foul them, then you got to put them on the line. Now it's 2 shots, definitely not 1 on 1 anymore.
Right, it's 2 shots.
But then you got to box out and get the rebound.
Box out and get the rebound.
So,
I just think with the nerves and the situation, and they take a last-second shot, and if he hits it, you don't lose. You just go to overtime.
I guess the way I look at it is this. If you let them shoot, they only got to do one thing to beat you or tie the game. If you foul them, they've got to do 2 things. They've got to make the free throws, and they got to get the ball back.
They missed all 3, but they get the offensive rebound off the miss, and then he fumbles the ball away. And now they got a foul.
Well, Canyon's had their opportunities late in this ball game to close this gap, and so right now it's going to be free throws for 1 of 1, 21.9 seconds to go. If they make his free throw, it's going to make it difficult.
That's the first foul on Osiuri. And 1 of 1. They're hanging on. Canyon just keeps making critical mistakes. Get opportunities and lose them at the most inopportune times. Remember when Milicevic was on that fast break, was about to cut it 2 or maybe 4 at the time. And he got called for the offensive foul on the push off. And then they get the offensive rebound at the other end and have it stripped away from them. So 2 free throws there, good for 1 of 1, and now they're not going to foul. Here's a fall away 3 off the mark. It's a big rebound for Fanta.
I think that's going to do it. 12 seconds, up by 7.
Yep, 7-point lead, 12.5 seconds to go, and 1 of 1 may be advancing on. And they'll await the winner of the last game tonight, or actually the 7 o'clock game, Huntington Prep and Jay Addison, who won this prep school division last year.
Well, both these squads are, for a fan, fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, they play a really good style of basketball. They really get after it, play hard, unselfish, play tremendous defense, and both well coached. So if you want to see good basketball, these 2 teams, this has been a tremendous game to call and watch.
Well, he missed both free throws, so still there's hope to be had. They're going to drive to the hole, and a foul is called, and it's going to be one with a body. And it is a 2-shot foul because we're over 5 here in the quarter. Well, make it a 1-possession game here if he makes them both. Well, no, still it'd be 2 possessions, wouldn't it? Just be a 5-point game. I was thinking he might have cut it to 3, but he can only cut it to 5 with both. And there's only 5 seconds left.
Wow.
But they haven't made one in a while.
No, Canyon struggled from the free throw line. That's made a difference.
Oh, no question it has. In fact, they've made only 20 of 36 on the ball game.
There's a lot of free throws.
Yeah, it's a lot of free throws. We have lived at the line here in the second half.
Missed 16 free throws in one basketball game. Uh-oh.
And that's the game.
Oh!
Yeah, a little highlight reel dunk at the end. I don't know, sportsmanlike or not, but be that as it may, 1 of 1 wins it by a score of 68-62, and they'll move on and again await the winner of Huntington Prep and Jay Addison out of Canada a little bit later this evening. Come on back with some post-game talk with James Brown and myself from the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic, America's finest high school holiday basketball tournament in Myrtle Beach.
From the Grand Strand to the farmland, from Main Street to the marshes, HTC is here to connect you to what matters most in your life. We're here to bring people together, here to play, and here to empower our communities with the largest fiber optic network in the area. Go with HTC. We are here to connect you to your world.
Back again at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center inside the Lambeau Arena. The first round game of the prep school division on the second day is in the books, and we've got a tight one right down to the wire, but a win by 1-of-1 prep from Charlotte, 68-62 over Canyon International from Glendale, Arizona. Alan Smothers, James Brown with you, wrapping up the first game. We'll have a game coming up, St. Peter's out of Brooklyn, New York, taking on North Crowley from Texas in just a few minutes. Tyler Watkins and Darren Gore will take you through that one after you visit with Banana Jack Murphy in just a few minutes. But, James, it was the Johans Connor show throughout this one tonight.
It was. I hope everybody saw that dunk at the end of the game because it didn't count, but that just tells you all you need to know about this young man. He just did it all. I mean, he to be a sophomore in high school,
sophomore,
a big time recruit, and love to see him come to the East Coast. But what a player! But both these teams extremely talented, a lot of Division I players, and we were lucky to call the ball game.
32 points and 7 rebounds for Johans Connor. It was a double-double for Jameer Pitts for Connor International, or Canyon International, excuse me. Connor's on the brain. Canyon International, and but he didn't show up much in the second half, and they missed a lot of free throws down the stretch that would have kept them in the game even closer.
Yeah, 21 for 38. Think about 17 points that you left, an opportunity to really make a difference in a 6-point ball game. So that was really the difference. And another thing that really surprised you is the rebounding. You would think just by the height differential that Canyon would out-rebound them, but they didn't. 36-27 out-rebounded by 1-of-1, and it all had to do with their tenacity. They're just a tough ball club that just gets after the basketball no matter what's going on during the game.
Well, let's take a look at some ball game highlights here. We've got about a minute's worth, and then we'll wrap things up and turn it over to our next broadcast team. You'll see, I tell you what, they had some great guards. As big and as talented as their inside game is, I think the guards were more of a showcase, James.
Yeah, they were, and quick and get to the rim, and which created a lot of opportunities for offensive rebounds and easy shots from the outside.
And here's Johans Connor, and he shows you how quick and talented he really is, as he got a lot of those shots off the glass.
Here
works the
again.
English. Yeah, look how the English off of that one rolls all around.
Well, Coach always says, when you're left-hand side, shoot left-handed. No, you don't have to do that.
No.
Just spin it in there.
And so Connor got a lot of help. And, again, you'll see there was a lot of fast break opportunities for Canyon, but they didn't cash in on a lot of them. And there's Connor with the inbounds off the baseline, and he just jams it over. And I think he's 5'11" is what they list him at. And here's the touchdown pass, really the last highlight for Canyon in the fourth quarter.
And, they had some chances late in the ball game.
Yes.
Free throw opportunities, got fouled on a three-point shot and missed all three of them, got the rebound, and then turned it over. So they have a lot of opportunities to trim this lead and make it a last-second deal, but didn't quite make that because of the shooting woes the whole game.
I told you that before the game, 1-of-1 Academy's coach told me that he's going to get a earful, going to get a call at halftime from LaMelo Ball. I think he's going to get a nice congratulatory call after the game. LaMelo Ball has to be very excited about the effort that his team gave tonight.
Yeah, great effort. And you know what else? They're unselfish. Everybody touches the basketball. Everybody gives equal effort, and a lot of kids played. Coaches did a good job at halftime realizing that Canyon has a lot of difficulty with their pressure. They turned the pressure up, started double teaming and making that ball move a little quicker, made a difference.
And Tony McIntyre also said to me before the game, at 6-6, they should have been 11-1. I think he's going to think another one got away from him tonight. He might feel like it should be 12-1, the way they just kind of gave opportunity after opportunity away. James, this is your only one tonight. We'll see you for 2 tomorrow.
We'll be here. I can't wait.
All right, James Brown going to wrap his day today. But Tyler Watkins and Darren Gore are up after we talk with Banana Jack Murphy and some of the fine folks that help run this tournament here at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. Your final score, once again, was 1-of-1 Prep 68, Canyon International 62. Stick around. We got more of the 43rd Annual Beach Ball Classic on Stadium.